Hi there, folks, and welcome to another episode of Michael's Backyard Marina. Well, today we got another car project. Now, I know you guys out there tuning in this channel to see boat stuff. Boat stuff's coming. Probably when this video comes out, there's going to be another video literally probably 5 minutes behind it on boat stuff. I promise you that. But what I've got here, we've done some things. We just put a topper on this here RX330. We took it through for a 300-mile test run to make sure it was okay with all my pets in the back that we're going to do a road trip on. 300 miles test run, perfect. Everything went flawlessly. Now, the only thing I haven't done to this car that it behooves me to do it is it's got just turned over 100,000 miles on it. And I don't know the history of this vehicle that well, but I do know that the transmission fluid is nice and pink right now. But I'm going to know when it was changed last, because that's what we're going to do today, is change the transmission fluid in here. From what I researched, it takes about 6.5 quarts of fluid. I've got that here. We've got our filter and gasket kit with O-ring that's on the filter. This filter bolts up with 3 bolts. We're also got, I don't have a 10 millimeter offset wrench. From what I'm understanding, I'm going to need an offset 10 millimeter wrench to sneak up by the frame. We're going to go ahead and bend one up, make my own. I bought a $7 wrench today at Napa, and 10 millimeter, and I'm going to bend it so I can have a wrench to do this now and in the future. Because here again, I'm going to keep this car for a lot of miles. Anyway, let's jump right in. Let's not waste any time. Let's get underneath this car. One of the things this vehicle does have, which I do like, is it has a drain plug. It's for draining the fluid, which is really nice because normally when you take these transmission pans down on most cars, I shouldn't say all cars, but a lot of cars, you got to take all the bolts loose, and all of a sudden the pan drops a little bit and all the fluid comes out that way. And then when you go to drop the rest of the pan down, there's fluid in the pan. It's hard not to make a mess. This has a drain plug, so the cool part is I can go ahead and drain 99% of the fluid out of the transmission, and then I can drop the pan, keep the mess to a minimum. Now Subaru, I had an 02 Subaru Forester that had it right. And I'm not sure how many cars, you guys comment down below, how many cars that you know out there have a drain plug for the transmission and a screw-on filter. And that's it. Subaru, that 02 Subaru, is the only car I've ever owned that had that. They got it right, because that makes it as easy as changing your engine oil. And if it's easy to do, it's easy to maintain, and more people will do it. Anyway, let's jump underneath this car. Let's get this thing draining and get this job done, because I got a boat thing over here I need to work on now. All right. Okay, we're underneath the car right now, and I've pulled the transmission plug, the oil drain hole here, plug here, and it's still slowly dripping. So in order to keep from making a giant mess, I'm gonna go ahead and stick this back in just to slow the process down. We'll probably pull it back out when I get the pan off, because I'm gonna have to clean the inside of the pan. We're going to inspect it. So we're just going to give that a little snugging. Then I'll wipe up this stuff that keeps dripping off onto my ground here. But I wanted to show you, I don't know if I can get you in here. I can get you in a spot where you can see. Let's get some light up in here. See these, there's 4 bolts right here between the frame and the pan. And you're going to need yourself an offset wrench to get those out. From what I can see, it's not that awful. But the offset wrench is definitely going to make a big difference on how easy it's going to be to get those out. So we're going to go ahead and pull. There's 4 bolts there, and then there's bolts all around the perimeter. And we're going to take all those off, and we'll drop this whole pan down. And we're going to get after that right now. Well, being that your fella here doesn't have an offset wrench handy, I bought this little 10 millimeter from Carlisle. It's a $7 wrench, but you know, I kind of like having some specialty wrenches here and there, and I need to create an offset. This thing needs a little more offset than this so I can get up in there. So I'm trying to figure out how I want to do that. But we're going to do some heating up and bending and see if I can avoid hurting myself. Historically, that hasn't been my luck. We'll give it a try. All right, we got ourselves a little bit offset in it. I'd say that turned out pretty good. Let's see if it works. All right, we've got the worst bolts off, which are the ones that are, there's 4 bolts underneath this cross member here. And I have to use that offset wrench that I made to get those out. And they were tight because it looks like they installed these originally from the factory with blue Loctite. But the cool news is the rest of them should come out pretty easy. And those 4 bolts literally are going to take as long to do as the rest of the job does. So that's how much of a pain in the butt they are. So the rest of them should back out pretty easy with my impact here. Now that I have all the bolts removed, I should be able to pop the pan loose. And it's on there quite tight, so I'm gonna have to get me a little bit of prying going on here. There we go, she pops right loose. Carefully slide this over and down and out of the way. There's gonna be some more oil that's gonna wanna come out and drip on your face. You gotta keep your oil pan handy. We'll set that aside. Next thing you're gonna wanna do is pull your oil filter off. And that's these 3 bolts right here on the bottom. There's 3 bolts that hold your filter in place. It's like a kind of a little bit long-winded one there. They're all pretty long. And they look like they're all the same length, which is nice. So you don't have to worry about getting them mixed up. Now we're gonna gently pull this down. And then some more oil will come out from there as well. There you go, just like that. And it looks like the O-ring that's on this filter stayed up in the transmission, so you wanna make sure you pull that O-ring out. There it is right there. Because you'll put your new one back on, and it has its own O-ring on it too. Whoops, I just dropped all that down in the container. All right, we have our brand new filter right here. All the part numbers will be in the link below. In the description, the links for all this parts will be below in the description, and you can get your own stuff. Now here, this O-ring is on here. You're gonna make sure that's there because that has to seal up. And then this will go right back up. There you go. That O-ring should hold it in place just like that. We'll go ahead and reinstall our filter bolts. Now do not use an impact to tighten these down. I just used the impact just to bring them up to snug. Then I'll use my ratchet just to give these a little tweak. Just like that. Now that's in place. Let's clean up our pan and get it ready for reinstallation. Now I've taken and flushed this transmission pan with brake clean to get all the residue off the bottom of it everywhere. But then you also want to clean this magnet off. There's 2 magnets, one here and one here. You want to take them off, wipe them clean with a rag or a towel, and then you want to put them back where they came from. These are actually, you know, the bottom of this pan was actually fairly clean. You have just your normal, looks like normal wear and tear and residue in the bottom. I wish that somebody would have possibly changed this at 50,000 miles, but 100,000 miles it is. Now these new gaskets, the holes are actually fit pretty tight to the bolt, which is fantastic, because the cool part about it is you can go ahead and start all your bolts into the gasket. It holds itself to the pan while you're lining it back up and getting it back up into on the bottom of the transmission. This also assures that all the holes in the gasket is sitting on there nice and straight for installation. So I'm giving them all about 2 turns into the gasket so it'll hold them in place and make it nice for reinstallation. Doesn't make these 4 bolts any better to get at, but at least they'll be up in place in an area where you can barely get your hands or fingers. Now we will carefully and gently get this back up into place. And make sure I've already wiped down all my surfaces, so all my gasket and surfaces are clean on the transmission. All right, the next thing we got to do after we got our transmission pan back in place is we want to measure how much fluid we took out of the transmission. We had very little of it get on the ground. We got 99% of it here. The videos I've watched and the things I've looked up, it looks like about 6.5 quarts is what it takes per transmission change. I'm going to go ahead and measure this and see how many quarts I've got here, and I'll let you know what I end up with. Alrighty, we're all done with it. I've topped it off. It took 5.5 quarts. That's what I pulled out. Basically 5 quarts, 8 ounces. I put 5 quarts, 16 ounces in because I had a little spillage here and there. I checked the dipstick. It's right on full. Right now it's hot. It checks full hot. So I'm calling that good, 5.5 quarts. And this job is done. Ready to take it on a trip, maybe. We'll see. So far, this thing's running good, shifts good, does everything it's supposed to. The one thing I did do, I saw other people do it. I'm not sure whether you have to do it or not. Maybe it helps kind of bleed or burp the transmission, so to speak, is I put it in reverse for 10 seconds, neutral for 10 seconds, drive for 10 seconds, and all the way down through all the gears and back up for 10 seconds each. Saw other people do it. Don't know if it's a requirement. You guys can leave comments down below. Let me know what kind of transmission fluid you like to use. I use the Lavalier extended life transmission fluid. It's supposed to be one of the best ones on the market in the red container. Like I said, I'll leave links in the description below so you can use the same things I did. I used a Napa filter that I got from Napa. It was a high quality filter. Don't go cheap on your filters. Make sure you buy a good filter. As you can see, the gasket kit looked good. Now I ran it down the highway. I put about 10 miles on it, pulled it back up on the ramps. I get back underneath and I look to make sure everything's, no leaks are happening. Everything's dry. Everything's good and dry. You're most likely good to go. And then once she's hot, there again, I checked the transmission fluid to see what the level was, and it checked out really, really good. So I'm really happy with how this turned out. We're gonna go park it back up in the garage and call this job done. You guys get out there and have some fun. I hope you found this informative and helpful. I like to bring you any video that I do or any kind of projects I do around the house or the property or, you know, my boats and whatnot, just because you never know, there's somebody out there that could use the information. I always do, when I'm getting ready to do a job that I've never done before, I get right on the YouTubes and I start looking at videos and I watch people do it. And I actually watch 3 or 4 to 5 to up to 10 people do these different projects. That way I can look at all the best techniques and bring that to you. Now, one thing, that offset wrench is very important to have, that 10 millimeter offset wrench. It took me as much time to remove and install those 4 bolts as the whole job did combined, pretty much. So be patient with those 4 bolts. It's brutal. It was a really horrible design. They could have done something to make that a little more accessible, but it is what it is. You guys get out there and have some fun. If it ain't broke, fix it till it is. This is Michael, and I'm out.